What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, I have Rolisa Cain. Yes, Rolisa Cain. That is pretty much all I know about her right now. So I'm excited to find out more about Rolisa Cain. I met this nice lady. She's, very fashionable, very sweet. Every time I talk to her, makes me smile. She's always got a great smile. That's what I know about Rolisa Cain. And I think she wants to start a podcast. We'll get into that. I'm kind of excited to learn more about Rolisa Cain, and I'm excited for you to learn more as well. This week's shows, let's see, I have one public show, my usual Friday night gig at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. On Friday nights, it's a little concert starring each and every one of you. Friday nights at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. They have a full bar. The kitchen's open, pool tables, pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, check out the Rab, Conway, Arkansas. Ooh, and don't sleep on the food. The food is delicious. They send me home every night with a nice plate of food, a nice little snack, my midnight snack. That they make in that kitchen, they prepare in that kitchen. It is delicious. So, have some food, have some drinks, have some, play some pool, sing some songs, do some dancing. You could do it right there at the Rabs. Good people, good fun. 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. is when I'm there. So, come on out and join us. Won't you join us? And then on Saturday, I'm sure I'm doing some party of some kind somewhere. I save my Saturdays for weddings and special events and birthday parties and the like. I'm not sure if I have something this week, but I'll find out. I'm sure I'll find out before Saturday. I got some time. Hey, that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Rolisa Cain. I'm so excited. I got her on the Skype. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the YouTube version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. Skyping Rolisa Cain now.
Hello.
Well, hello there, Rolisa Cain, in the place to be. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, so good. So good. It's been such an uneventful day. That's the way I like my Sundays. Lazy Sundays. And I know we're doing this. Right? Usually I don't tell people what day we do these things, but I usually don't do these on Sundays. But for you, I'll make an exception. It's a mystery to me who you are, Rolisa Cain. I've met you. I know your name. I might have found a LinkedIn possibly of yours, but I haven't found you on social media. I need to know. The people got to know about Rolisa Cain. And I have to, okay, if you were writing your own Wikipedia page, and you might have one out there, I didn't find it. But if you were writing the blurb on your Wikipedia page, the top 2 paragraphs or so, maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs, who is Rolisa Cain?
Well, I'm a customer service agent. I've been working in customer service over 15 years. I'm a mother, number one, of 3 children. You might not see too much stuff out there about me because like I told you, I'm shy, and you actually helped me get out of my comfort zone. This is the first I ever been able to just be, out and spoken. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. But I'm just a mother of 3 boys, and I'm a customer service agent, which I done worked in different fields. So that's a little bit about me. I love to do hair. I love fashion. So that's number 1, too.
Well, you'll hardly ever know about my day job. I think I started doing customer service back at Kmart back in 1992. For you kids out there, that's back in the 1900s. I worked
Kmart was the place to be.
Yeah, I worked the front desk, and I also did the blue light specials. It kind of enhanced the night job, the job where I'm on a microphone. But your public relations, that is something that's a people person. Is that a job that you enjoy, dealing with people? Because a lot of people say people suck and I don't want to deal with people, you know, and my joke sometimes when I go into retail places, I'll say, you know, this job would be great if it wasn't for the customers, and people will just laugh and go, yeah, you know, you're right. But tell me about you and people pleasing and people.
Yes, sir. To tell you, to be honest, everyone say I am a people pleaser. I love people, actually. I'm a shy person, but once I get to know you and once I see you or talk to you, it's like I can't stop talking. So whenever I'm talking to people, whatever I do, I try to make sure that they're satisfied and happy. And so I'm actually a people person. That's what they know me as, a people person.
Well, a lot of times, that could get you taken advantage of. But, you know, I take people at face value.
Exactly.
A lot of times
it's pros and cons of being a people person.
That is correct. You know, a lot of times I'll meet somebody, I'll give them 100%. First off, right, you know, right away, they are 100%. You know, they have no faults right yet. I'll treat them like they were my dearest friend. I'll help them. You know, a friend will help you move, and a best friend will help you move a body. But that's a whole nother story. But, you know, I'll help you move and I'll help you do things. And I try to help the community. But, you know, as a person, well, okay, where do you find yourself? Where were you born and raised? Let's start with a little baby, Rolisa. You know, when were you born? Where were you born? And tell me about your early life.
I was born July 31st, 1990. So I'm a 90s baby. My birthday is actually coming up. I was born and raised in Plummerville, Arkansas, which is a small town. And I went to Morton High School, the Devil Dogs, and graduated from there in 2008. So I'm a country girl at heart.
Well, I'm glad you said Plummerville, because I know there's only one M, and I always go Plummerville. How do you pronounce that? Plummerville. Okay. So tell me about, all right, if you were in the tourist agency of Plummerville and you were trying to tell people, hey, things to do in Plummerville, what do you do for fun in Plummerville?
The only thing you can do for fun is just to sit on a porch and watch the cars go by. It's really not too much to do, but just sit around family and, you know, just sit outside and talk and just enjoy each other. That's all you can really do. Ride four-wheelers, you know, if you love to ride horses, you can ride horses. But if you're not a country person, it might not seem like fun to you, but it's fun to a person who, you know, grew up in that lifestyle. So I love the country.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I grew up in the Everglades down in South Florida. So I know about the 3-wheel, the 4-wheel, the 2-wheel life, you know, going and even a little bit of horses. Most of the time I've been a big person. So the horses, I get on top of them and they go, get off me, go find a motorcycle. You know, you don't need to be on me, big person. You know, yeah, because well, you can call me Dan, you can call me KeysDAN, you can call me Dan. That's fine. Calling me sir is like put an elevator in an outhouse.
KeysDAN, okay.
But all right, so tell you mentioned.
Look, I know you, so I'm just used to saying yes, sir.
See, that's the country in you. That's the good upbringing. Tell me more about the upbringing. You say that you spent some time with family, and I know that there's nothing more important than family. Those are the people that are probably going to back you up for the rest of your life. There's few exceptions, but for most people, the family, those are the people that you've grown up with, you've known the longest. They're the ones that are going to help you out more often than not. So tell me about your mom and dad and any brothers and sisters. What are they up to?
Well, my mom, she raised 7 children, and me, and I have a twin. So that's one thing that's unique about me. I do have a twin, but she raised 7 children, and for all I know, ever since I was little, she's worked, 7 days a week to ensure that, we are taken care of. So I appreciate that. My dad as well, he worked, his whole life to ensure that we were taken care of. He, taught me how to cook. He's the reason I love to cook, because we stayed in the kitchen when we was young and learning different, ways to cook and, different recipes. So I thank him for that. He recently passed away, so he's no longer here with us, but he will forever be in our hearts. But he was a hard worker. He did everything. And then my sisters and brothers, we just love to be with each other. We always enjoy each other. We always taking trips, with each other. They're all, very successful.
Mm-hmm.
So I just love my family.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your dad. That it's hard to lose. It's hard to lose a parent, man. But it sounds like he was a hardworking person, instilled that into you. If there's anything that you learned from your parents, the thing that I heard most was that there's a work ethic. Make sure that you provide for your family. And with 7 kids, there's a lot to provide for. You got to get to work, and it's not just even one person. The old family adage used to be, one person would get to work. Most of the time it was dad, and then mom would stay home and raise the children. And, with mom working, I'm guessing she had to raise the children too at the same time.
Yes.
So mom's got to work twice as hard, sometimes to get half as much. Hey, it's good that you had all that family. My goodness, you had a band. You had people to play with all the time, and probably the closest one. You had a twin boy, twin girl. Were you identical or fraternal?
It's his sister.
Is it
identical twins, girls?
So there's 2 of you. I'm guessing that the twins that I've met in my life are instantly popular. I remember in high school I had Todd and Troy Easley. They were instantly popular. And tell me about, did you have a language with your twin? And did you have, what kind of mischief and good times and adventures did you get into with your twin?
Well, everyone in school always, thought that we were, we always say we didn't look alike, but everyone said y'all look just alike and we can't tell you apart. So one day in the 3rd grade, my teacher was like, you come over here and I'm going to have your sister come over here to trick my other teacher. So I went.
All right. Okay. We switched cameras, but start off where you were trying to trick your teachers were trying to trick you and your sister, switching you around.
So she wanted us to go we was going to switch spots. I was going to go to her class. She was going to go to my class. And so me and her did so. And I went in her class. Even the kids didn't even know that I was Ro and not Joe. So I sat down and we went on. And I didn't tell it to the end of the day. My teacher came over laughing and was like, you didn't know that was Ro instead of Joe? She's like, girl, I had no idea. So I was like, we don't look alike, but they think we look alike. But I don't think we look alike.
See, you don't think you look alike. I know Todd and Troy, they looked exactly alike until they got into Todd got into a kind of a motorcycle accident. We were riding on the back roads down in the Everglades, and he got a little barbed wire fence and got him right next to the eye. So he had a scar for the rest of his life. I don't know if he's living or dead, but he definitely had a scar, and we could tell them apart. Now you guys can tell each other apart because you know you are you.
That's how they can tell us apart, because I have a mole on my nose right there. That's how they used to be able to tell us apart when we was kids, because Ro has a mole and Joe don't. So that's how they tell us apart.
Well, I like that they named you Ro and Joe. That's pretty cool. And so tell me about, did Ro end up in the public relations? I mean, did Joe end up in the public relations as well? Or what did she end up doing?
She also do customer service as well. We basically been working with each other off and on ever since we graduated, but she's in a different profession right now, but it still entails, customer service as well. But we've been in there both in customer service over 15 years. That's
pretty cool. So, I mean, there's been a lot of studies done on twins, especially when twins are separated. Maybe one will go with the mom and one will go with the dad, or they get separated somehow, or separated at birth, and they'll figure out that most of the times, even if the twins are separated, they end up doing a lot of the same things, having a lot of the same traits. It's an interesting thing that you shared a womb together and you came out pretty much at the same time. All right, who's slightly older, you or Joe?
She's slightly older, and we always argue about that too. I was like, "You're only older 2 minutes," but yeah, she's older.
I've seen that in the movies, and I like that. I like that so much. But all right, so you work together from time to time. Now, where did you fall into with the 7 kids? Were you older, younger? Where did you end up?
Youngest of all. I'm the youngest. Since I came out last, I'm the youngest of them all.
Absolute youngest. Okay, so they had 5 kids, and they said, well, let's try again for a 6th. And then boom, boom, here comes 6 and 7. And they go, no, we got to stop now. This can't be happening with the two at a time. I'm sure that's a little bit different, raising two, little babies at a time rather than one. But tell me about the oldest brothers and sisters. What did they end up doing? Did they protect you, or kind of kick you around a little bit, or a little bit of both?
Yes, my oldest sister, she joined the Army when I was young, so she was definitely, overprotective of us. She stays in Washington currently still. She's not in the Army currently, but in her field, she just like me. I love to talk to people. She talks to people in her field as well. So she definitely is overprotective of us. And she also, if I need someone to talk to, that's my go-to person to talk to.
See, I always think about when people get in the Army and they get out of the Army, are you always a secret agent? When you, especially if you live in Washington, does she do work with the government there, or what kind of work?
Yeah, she actually do work for the government. Yes, she does. She a counselor for mentally ill people, and so she works with the government.
Look at her taking care of people. See, these are traits. It seems like your family. It's heading in the direction, taking care of not only each other but also other people. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing in this world. You take care of yourself, make sure that you're all straight. Then you take care of your family, and you make little circles out into the community, and as well as much as you can, as your resources allow, and take care of each other. Quit fighting with each other. No more wars. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Okay, coming down to the next child. What do they do?
He actually stays in Pennsylvania, and he actually works in construction currently. So. Yeah.
That's an important job, working with your hands. I wish I would have built more things. Somebody who can handle some tools and build houses, build things for other people. I don't build anything anymore. I get on the air. I feel like I don't do anything constructive that will have a lasting effect. The only thing I could do is learn from people. And today we're learning from you, Rolisa. We're learning, how you became who you are. All right. So the construction man, and then coming down to the next one.
My sister, she works in the nursing field currently. So she's a manager over a facility. So she also, help people get everybody enrolled who's coming to their particular home as well. And then, my other brother, he works in landscaping. Currently, he works on a farm. He does construction as well. And then my other sister, she's a police officer / parole officer. So she, helps, the community out as well and serve for the community. And then my twin, she works at Energy. She's she has a great role at Energy. Actually, she works hard there as well to, ensure if your lights out, she's working, overtime to ensure that your lights, get cut back on in a timely manner.
This portion of the podcast brought to you by Entergy. That was a good commercial for Energy. If your lights go out, they're going to work twice as hard to make sure that they come back on. Yeah, I do appreciate it, Energy. Thankfully, even though I'm out here in the country, I don't have a lot of problems with Energy. The lights maybe have gone out for the most part, at the most a couple hours, maybe. At the most part, but they do work hard. That is a hard job to do. And it sounds like your whole family works hard. I mean, police work in itself, and parole work, and that in itself is hard work. You're not only helping people, but you're helping people that have been downhearted at one point or another. It doesn't matter what they did, what crime they did, or what they're accused of to get in there. To when they're getting out and trying to acclimate with the world. That is a tough situation. I watched Shawshank, probably the most famous movie of '94. I know Forrest Gump and quite a few other movies were out there.
It's one of my favorite movies.
See, I just touched on something. But I mean, you see in that one, even though it was, kind of washed over a little bit, the guy gets out of jail. He tries to acclimate. Can't do it. So you need somebody to help. Man, you got a lot of helpers. You got a lot of helpers in your family. Tell me about Forrest Gump. Is that one of your favorite movies?
Yes. My nephew, he used to, if he get in trouble or something, he used to run off like the way Forrest Gump ran. So my mama used to call him Forrest Gump, and I just love to watch the movie because it just reminds me of my nephew. And he's actually going to play for Razorbacks. So you got to start. If you don't watch the Razorbacks, you have to start watching the Razorbacks because he went off to play for the Razorbacks. He just graduated. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. See, that's heading in a direction. You know, if you start from a certain location, you can either have brains, you can have brawn, and very few people have both. You know, but hey, if you're gonna, what is it? My mom said, if you're gonna be dumb, you better be strong. You know, so. But no, I'm glad that he's getting in. You know, even if it's his body that got him into college, hopefully he takes advantage and get some of that brain stuff too. Get to go to class.
That was number one, actually, his academic, because he got a lot of scholarships for academic, so he got a paid scholarship for academic and because his sportsmanship. So. Yeah. Fantastic.
You know, my whole career of doing radio started, I guess, on and off since 1986, way back in 1986, but I never really worked on sports radio till I got here to Little Rock because I really don't know a lot about sports. I like to go to games. I like to go see the people, have the experience, the communal experience of going to a game and watching athletes, gladiators, of our time doing their thing. But, I don't know a lot about sports, but I started working on a sports station in, I guess just around the time that you graduated in 2008, 2009. And I started learning some sports from some of the former Razorbacks and the sportscasters here in Little Rock, Arkansas. So, I have an appreciation, and I have appreciation for the Razorbacks, even though I'm from Miami. Go Dolphins, go Florida Marlins, but hey, the Razorbacks. There's something to the Woo Pig Suey. Do you get to go to? Have you gotten to go to a lot of football games, Razorback games, basketball?
Graduated, just went off to play, so we're just excited when the season does start to actually get to go to a game. I'm definitely gonna be at the first one.
Yeah, now and that's all the way up in Fayetteville, and you're in Central Arkansas. I've never been that part of Arkansas. I think I went up to Harrison, which is about 2 hours away from where I'm at, but. To go out that way, that has to be
maybe 3 hours, or 3.5 hours from us.
Yeah. But to go there, have that communal experience, the Razorbacks are the biggest thing in this state. That's where the whole state really comes together with the Hogs. I think I just saw a license plate yesterday. It said something Bama Hogs. Or something like that, where it looks like maybe the husband was into the Bama and the other one was into the Hogs. So that was their license plate. It's really tough to, even if you're from someplace else, to get away from the Hogs here in this state. But hey, good on. That's fantastic. Good news. So, all right. Yeah. All right, let's go back to your younger life. In 2008, you graduated high school, but before that, what were you into when you were in high school? What kind of extracurriculars, or were you into the academics? What were you into in school?
I was actually in the Beta Club in school, and I actually graduated with honors. I also ran track a little bit and played basketball. I always wanted to be, athletic and be in that type of field, but I was a girly girl / athletic as well. So I, graduated. I went to college, I had, my child, at a young age. So it did, take me away from being able to do more than what I wanted to do.
And we're back. All right. I'll cut that little piece out. No problem. But you were in school. You were an athlete and a girly girl. A lot of times people can't do both. You can't be both. But
I know it's hard trying to maintain it, but the girly girl took the side of me,
Well, tell me about the Beta Club. What is the Beta Club?
It's basically like any child that is in extra class that to be able, like pre-AP classes, like if you had like regular classes and then you could have pre-AP classes. So it's like being, in pre-AP classes and getting, A's and B's. You basically was part of the Beta Club.
Wow. So that's brains and brawn. I was talking about people usually can't do both. And here I have Rolisa Cain, who can do both. She is both. Find you a person that can do both. be the brains and the brawn. But, I've seen it. I've seen it in person, even though, there's a uniform involved sometimes. You are a fashion victim, a fashion icon, if you will. I know when I was in high school, I was in DECA, the Distributive Education Clubs of America, which is fashion marketing. I did that 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. That's a little known fact that people don't know about me. But if you look in the yearbook, there I am in the picture. Fashion marketing. I could have gone to one of the art institutes of Fort Lauderdale there, but I didn't do it. But I was into fashion myself, and I appreciate when people want to look good. You always have, the fingernails done, the makeup done, hair is done, and a lot of times it's different ways. Is that something that you've always been involved with fashion? Were you the icon, the trendsetter in school?
I was. When it came to doing hair, me and my twin, we actually did a lot of people hair. We still do hair to today. I was the go-to person. I need to take pictures for this event. What should I wear? I'm online searching for different outfits for different people. I'm the person that's taking the pictures, finding the clothes and taking the picture because I love fashion so much. So no matter how many people it is, how tired I am when it comes to fashion, I love to do it. So I get up every day and, dress myself. And that's what makes me happy and keep myself going is getting up, dressing up, making myself look pretty and to be able to take on the day.
Well, I mean, you're a child of the 90s and 2000s. You really don't know anything about the 80s where I grew up. I'm class of 86, but I remember Michael Jackson was big. So, of course, I wore the jacket that had the zippers on it. Parachute pants were big. I dressed, when you're a kid, you try to find your own. You try to find your style. I was wearing Hawaiian shirts one day, and the next day I'm dressed like a cowboy, and the next day I'm dressed like a surfer, like I'm going to the beach, and the next day I'm dressed like a break dancer. When you were trying to find your own, I'm sure it wasn't as chaotic as that. And I had my best friend, John Canada, that was right along with me. If I'm wearing my duster with jeans and the boots, the snakeskin boots, guess who's standing right next to me doing the same thing? John Canada, yep. My best buddy. Okay. But when you were trying to find your own, when you were trying to figure out your style, who were your fashion icons? Who were you trying to emulate? Or were you not emulating anybody and being on your own? Tell me who affected who affected you that way?
To be honest, I just always been myself. Like I can see a pair of glasses sitting on the table and I'll say, oh, I got an outfit in my head that I can put with them glasses. So it's like I always been the type of person that just love fashion so much and I can take something little and make it to something pretty and you wouldn't even think it would be an outfit. So I actually didn't have too many famous persons that I could say I actually got it from. I just did it myself, to be honest.
Well, that's good. You're setting the trends. Did people emulate you? Did you have your friends in school that go, I like those glasses. And then all of a sudden, maybe a couple days later, boom, look at their face. They got the same kind of glasses. Yeah. Has that happened?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That has happened. Or say, oh, them ugly glasses. And then the next week you see them with it on. So, yes. I always tell them it might seem ugly, but it's not how it looks. It's how you wear it. And depending on how you wear it, you can make it out to be more than what it is.
Yeah. I mean, well, like I said something about uniforms earlier. I grew up as a Catholic. I went to a Catholic school and I had to wear a uniform. But the only way that you could really set yourself apart is if you wore different glasses or maybe different socks, if that was allowed. Sometimes you had to wear a uniform sock as well, or maybe a shoe. But there's different ways that you kind of set yourself apart. And it looks like that's something that's been a part of your life and it's still ongoing. You set trends. I like that. You take care of yourself. Whenever I go to a club and I do the DJ thing, I'm wearing my bow tie. I'm wearing my suspenders. I'm wearing my vest. I'm wearing something. Even if people are dressed down, that's my uniform. When I I put that on, I feel like a person. I feel like, hey, time to get to work. This is a job.
It gets you in that
Get you in that groove. All right. Well, I mean, we're already getting up into where you got out of school. You got out of college. What kind of college did you kind of study? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I did go to school for business. I always wanted to own my own business. So when I did have the ability to go to college, it was always to study business. But, having my son at a young age, I didn't have the opportunity to just pursue my dreams at that time. So I always wanted to be a business owner. I always wanted to work in fashion, whereas having my own clothing line, anything of that nature, that's always been a dream.
See, and you'll never work harder than when you own your own business. That's for sure. If you go all in and bet on yourself and you say, look, I'm going to hang this shingle, boom, I'm going to go whatever, cut hair, boom, and that's going to be sustaining me the rest of my life. Well, my sister does that. My daughter does that. They cut hair as well. I think, my daughter got out of that. She's in the legal, she's a legal assistant now, but my little sister is like one of Miami's, that one of those Vidal Sassoon, if you don't look good, we don't look good type of people. And she went all in on that business. But let me tell you, she works, it feels like 24 hours a day. Even if she's not in the salon, she's promoting the salon. So if you own your own business, you got to set time schedule. You got to set, okay, I'm only going to work from 8 to 5. And then try not to think about that business anytime after 5. It's hard. It is hard.
It is. Yeah.
But
it is something that I'm going to do, though.
Yeah, but you had priorities. I mean, shoot, yes, you had a child, and you said it a few times. You had it at a young age, but hey, you had priorities. You raised the child. That's our job, is to take care of other people, and the first person is that child that came from us. So, yeah. And you say that is that the child that's going to Razorbacks now?
No, sir. I have 3 children, but the one that's going to Razorback is my sister. The one that is the police officer, her child. He's Excellent. Going to Razorbacks.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. All right. So, wow, you have 3. How are they doing?
3 boys. Yeah. They're doing good. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 15-year-old. So
you've done well.
I have my hands full.
Yeah, you found that passage to be fruitful and multiply, and you did. You did it.
I did it.
Well, okay. Let's. There's something going on right now that I was hearing about, is that a lot of women are going to work and they're focusing on their careers a lot more. And the population is starting to decline. And I think that's, I don't know, is that something that you've heard about?
I haven't heard about that. No, sir, I haven't heard about that. So what was it?
Well, that women are waiting longer and longer and longer to have children, focusing on their careers, trying to get ahead in the world. Because, face it, women work twice as hard to get not as much. Was it 70 cents on the dollar is the payment and stuff like that. And I thought about that as a man. I thought, well, all my money goes to my wife. So I think she makes all my money and then all of her money too. So, but it all inevitably goes towards the household and takes care of everybody. But I've heard something where there's a population decline because, women in particular, and I know women aren't the sole people that need to be taking care of the kids. I know I have one friend that's a stay-at-home dad, and he loves it. He loves it, and he's a big dude, big brawly dude, sports guy, takes the kids to the gyms and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a reverse role, but it works for their family. But women have been waiting longer and longer to have children, and there's kind of a decline in the population, and for growth of a country, of the world, it's not good. But then there's other people that go, there's too many people in this world. Let it decline.
Yeah, it's probably more easier to be able to have that job, because having 3 kids and trying to start a business and being out here doing it alone is harder to get to where you need to be. But some of the women probably look at it as they might see a lot of population. It might be single mothers out there. So it's probably more single mothers out there than anything. So they probably looking at, that as to, I'd rather, go ahead and get my life, situated, get to where I need to be. And then I get my family and start, having kids then, which probably would be much easier. I'm grateful for my kids, but Also, it can be done. It can be done as well.
Oh, my mom did it too. She raised the 2 boys and sometimes 3. You know, she got married to her 3rd husband and he had a daughter. So, you know, but she always worked and she always made sure that we had what we needed. You know, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough. It was enough that, you find that you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. And that's, talking about family, growing up with a family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, people that your village that raises your kids. Now, you've talked several times about you're in the business acumen. You want to start a business. Rolisa Cain, if you were wanting to start a business, what would it be?
If I was to start a business, I want it to be a clothing line. I want people to know that, hey, you don't have to have much to be able to look good. I want to be able to create a space where you're able to come get dressed. I want to come get dressed. I can do your nails, toes, eyelashes, whatever you need, take you some pictures, make you feel good. So I want to be able to have, the ability to have a clothing line and be able to sell everything to make sure that, you're happy at the end of the day. Because I know it's a lot of single mothers out there and, they don't have the ability to buy things to make them feel pretty, from time to time. And you need that because it's not easy, being a mother. So, and I can't, understand where they're coming from. So I just want to be able to create a safe space, and be able to help people.
Well, growing up, my family used to make fun of me. I had a Bloomingdale's attitude with a Kmart bank account. So, yes, you do have to make things go a long way. And I know that there was a comedian that I enjoyed, and he would walk up on stage. And one of the first things that he said at one routine was, "Yes, I got it at Ross." So there are clothing facilities, clothing companies that do help out people that don't have a lot of cash, but still want to look good. And I appreciate that, Rolisa. It's not using inferior materials but it's giving a good product at a decent price. Now, are you a seamstress or do you design clothing or do you know how to sew clothes together or do you have people that...
I don't know how to sew clothes together, but I have outfits that I have made, but it's not, where it's sold and things like that. It's just, I'm just playing with different things that I had that may have been sitting in the closet and I get a vision. I was like, oh, this would be cute together. So I didn't cut up, glue things together that I think is cute, but I don't know how to sew. That's one thing I need to learn how to do as well as sew because I be having so many ideas and I just, don't have the tools that I need to actually do it. So sewing is definitely a thing that's on my list. I got to get done.
All those brothers and sisters, nobody knows how to sew.
I know. And my granny used to sew all the time. So I should know how to sew.
Well, I was fortunate too. I had a grandmother that knew how to sew, and back in '86. Oh yeah, that's back in the 1900s. In '86, I had a fashion show that I was going to be involved in. I was going to be in. I was one of the models. Yes, I was a model. But no, I had to sew my own clothes. So I made myself a break dancing outfit. My grandma helped me sew it. She showed me how to do the stitching and make sure that the seams were right. And those clothes lasted me for a while. I made myself a little tank top with something sparkly. I mean, of course, it was the time of Michael Jackson and Madonna, so something sparkly. I had to have it, and I got up on stage and I felt so good with that accomplishment that I made my own clothes. Back before manufacturing was done, people made their own clothes. People did their own things. Yeah. You have a brother that's in construction. He's building things. He's making things. These are things you have to be. I wish we were more self-sufficient. I wish I was more self-sufficient. Yeah. I've been trying to save up to make myself a little shed so I can go make myself a little woodworking shop or a shop of any kind so I could build some stuff, And here you are. You're going to be making clothes, making people feel good, making people, when people put on the right outfit that fits their bodies, their shapes, their styles, their types. Because people are all kinds of different shapes in this world, and if you got clothes that make you feel good, you're strutting a little bit. You're walking a little bit taller. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel
definitely. That? You feel a lot better about yourself.
All right. Well, I mean, if you were going to get into the fashion marketing, and I'm guessing, hey, we're going to start right here in Conway, Arkansas, right here in Central Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. There's plenty of fashion shows here. What's the timeline? Do you think that you could have in 5 years the Rolisa line will be out there in Little Rock, Arkansas, at your local stores? Are you looking for that? Is that the dream? Is that the goal?
I'm definitely looking for that. That's my dream, and that's something I'm definitely going to have before 5 years.
Yes.
Within the next year or so, I'm definitely going to have my line coming out.
If you could dream it, you could be it. Hey, and I know I named it Rolisa. Is that going to be the name of the line?
That's not going to be the name. I had the line. I just ain't said it, but yes.
Well, hit me. Tell people, because this is, I mean, I want to know all about you. I know we only have a few minutes left. I'm not going to keep you any more than an hour, but tell me about what's going on in the world of Rolisa Cain right now. I heard something about maybe you're starting your own podcast as well. Tell me about that.
Yes, I am. That's why I did want to meet with you, because I'm interested in starting a podcast. And with me and my work crew that I used to work with, I've been knowing them over 10 years. It came about because working with them, we always used to sit in the break room and we used to talk about everything with each other. So we have all experienced different life issues that I feel like that everyone in the world has, experienced. And I just feel like maybe we could, bring something, to the world by creating a safe space for everyone to be able to come talk about similar problems that we may, have occurred in life, and just be able to create a safe space and, be able to let them know we're family. They're my family. They helped me through a lot of situations. And I know some of the things that we went through that we can maybe be a help to, the next person, or maybe be able to save a life, or maybe be able to inspire somebody. So I did want to create a podcast where we're able to do so.
Well, that's fantastic. So there's people. I listen to podcasts all day long. While I'm driving around doing my thing, I have a podcast in my ear. Some people listen to music, and me being a DJ, I should probably listen to music. No, I listen to podcasts. I want to learn science, and I want to learn, get some knowledge. Of course, I listen to some comedy, science, and then insight. People like you that are going to be giving insight to, interviews with people from all over the world, with this technology that we have. Even though we're in the same city, we're probably 20 minutes driving distance apart. It was so much easier to do this on Skype. And I thank you, Skype. This part of the podcast brought to you by Skype. I have the broadcast software, and I know that you're just starting, and we're going to talk about a little bit about how to do a podcast, how to do this video portion of the podcast using Skype, using my XSplit software. Now, I know that there's OBS software that's free, and I use that for my let me see the name of the Twitch. Okay, I have that on Twitch, but then for podcasts like this, I use XSplit, and there's a monthly fee on that one. Or you could pay the lifetime fee for about $300, I think it is. Now, you can invest a lot, or you can invest a little. My first podcast that I did was on the phone using a lavalier mic. I had my phone and a lavalier mic, and I was using the lavalier mic like I was interviewing somebody. And it happened to be a band after a show, and that ended up being the first What Makes You Famous podcast. But even before that, when I was coming out of the gym at Planet Hollywood, or Planet Fitness, there was a guy outside that was kind of bringing people in. And it turns out he worked at Planet Fitness, but he was also an aspiring comedian. This is back in 2015. And I said, I'm going to make the What Makes You Famous podcast. 2015. That was my first one, really. Wow. And he was a comedian, just standing outside. You never know. I thought, well, he's working at a gym. Maybe he's into fitness. No, he was into comedy. So I want to look back, and I want to find that guy again and see what he's up to now. See if he actually followed his comedy career. But the equipment, what is it you want to know about how to start a podcast, or have you started it already?
I haven't started already. I was just wanting to know like the ins and outs as far as like the equipment, what is it that I need? Because I do, like like I was telling you, have a lot of ideas. And, I believe that I'm going in the right direction. I'm not a public speaker, but like I was telling you, I'm a shy person. But when I get to know you, I'm able to talk, and you can't get me to stop talking. So I know this is something I can do because I love to help people and I love to talk. I just have to come out my shell, my shy shell, to be able to get it done.
Well, you've been public talking for the last, 48 minutes now, and I'm very excited to know more about Rolisa.
Yes.
Now, for the audio, I do record the video version on the XSplit, and then as a backup, I'll have the audio version on my other screen there, and that's I use Adobe Audition. Some people use Pro Tools if they have Apple products, or if they have PC. I use Adobe Audition to record the audio version just as a backup, because the video version also records audio as well. Pretty good. Now, with the internet, there's connection problems sometimes. Thankfully, you have a great phone, and you're on the Skype, and it's got a great camera on it. These things, do they even make phone calls anymore? I don't know. I digress. But it's got a good sound quality. It's got a good video quality. So I'm getting, the way that you see it at the top of your Skype, that's how it's going to be out there on YouTube. And it's like, it's as good as CNN or any of those news sources when they're talking to somebody remote. I'm just, you make it look as professional as you possibly can. Now, that's if you want a video version. Some people don't even want the video at all. They won't even show their faces. They'll have a complete audio version. Now, the first year that I did this podcast, it was all audio. I didn't have the video portion. So there's a whole year of people that you're just listening to their voices, hearing their stories. And for that, you just get a good mic, a good microphone. There's a lot of lists out there. If you say best podcast equipment, and there's there's different little different companies that will sell you packages. Okay, here's a mixer with a microphone, and it plugs into USB in with your phone, or you can plug it into your computer, and those work good. And you'll see as you progress, they'll get better and better and better. I went ahead and I spent the $600 on this Rode Rodecaster Pro, this Rodecaster Pro mixing board. Yeah, you're here. And it gives me the ability to put 4 microphones in there. The USB gets the sound quality perfect from the computer. There's also a place to have a Bluetooth phone. So if you want to do a live show and take callers, you can do that. And it's not just the Rodecaster Pro that does that. There's also other pieces of equipment. This is just the one piece that fit what I needed to do. If I want to take phone calls from people, Bluetooth is there as well. And then the microphone, I mean, there's only one mic. Well, there's a few microphones for broadcasting, but this one, the SMB7 by Shure, it's the one that Michael Jackson used for Thriller. And ever since then, people have been using it for recording, for voice. Before that, there was the Electro Voice EV20. You've seen that microphone. It's the silver long one. And then there's the other Shure SE55. Kind of looks like an old-timey microphone. It looks beautiful, but it doesn't work great unless you put your face right into that microphone. Now, what you'll do, you'll work with different microphones. You'll work the first podcast. You can do it with your friends as a test. Set the phone in the middle of the room. It's not going to sound great, but it's going to give you an idea of how you interact together. And then if you can't afford it, and it's not that expensive, it maybe $20, you get a lavalier mic. And there's some lavalier mics that split into 2, where you can put one on you and one on the person that you're talking to. And there you go, man. I admire you. I look forward to hearing your podcast. Do you have a name for the podcast already?
We actually are between 2 different names currently, but yes, we have actually, selected 2 different names currently. So I'm definitely excited, to get it up and running. And I know it's going to be success. Like I said, we're well known. We're definitely, the type of people that love to help people, and we love to conversate with people. We've been through so much, and we're funny. We love to have a good time. So we're just excited to, get it up and running and see what it's about, the podcast.
Well, talking face to face like this, at least I can see your face. I can see your smile. I can see your expressions. This is the next best thing to being in the room. Now, if you have the ability to set up, maybe around your kitchen table, set up a few microphones there, put a mixing board in the middle and somebody controlling that, even if it's you controlling that or whoever's the most technologically advanced controlling the mixing board and the computer, and then you maybe have 2 or 3 microphones out. The best podcasts for me are one-on-one, always one-on-one. If you get too many voices in the room, sometimes it gets chaotic, especially like in your ears. And if you're talking over each other, even more so. But, some of the comedy podcasts, I've seen, I've had them to where they're like 7, 8 people talking at the same time, or giving different ideas, and it's like really rapid fire. So there's 2 schools to all of that. You might get a really interesting podcast with 7 people in the room, or you might get the one with just 1 or 2 people in the room. The best podcast for me, I've tried to do some by myself, to where I try to get some knowledge. There's another podcast called What Makes You Smarter. And that's one where I'm by myself and I'm just trying to learn some things. I find a Wikipedia page and I go, I'm going to become an expert on this by the time I finish reading this Wikipedia page. And most of the time I get a little bit of ideas. I get a little bit of knowledge, something I could spit out at a dinner party. But if you have somebody else to bounce ideas from, you say that once you open up, you could talk forever and ever. Yeah, I could talk to you forever and ever. And I have the advantage of talking to you in person almost on the daily. So, I mean, there's going to be a little more behind the scenes that my loyal listener is not going to listen to. How come you didn't tell me all about what microphone and a nice arm to make sure that it's in front of your face, and then the mixing board, the cables, a good computer, a good connection. It's very important if you're going to be doing stuff with people all over the world, which I do, which is great. So much fun talking to people all over the world. It's so much easier to get them in their house on a Sunday evening, rather than have them drive 20 minutes, drive a half an hour to your studio. So that's a nice thing about technology as well. But are there any questions on what specifically you want to get, or are there any questions in general as we wind this down?
No, sir. I think you about answered all my questions. I did want to ask, is there any what is the cons of you, or what have you experienced throughout your journey as a podcaster? Like, have you experienced any bad times, or
well, I mean,
what can I look forward to?
Well, there have been a few people, and I'm not going to name any names, that have been nervous beforehand and have sent me note after note after note or message after message. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know if I'm interesting enough. I don't know if I'm famous.
That's me. I told you.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say her name rhymes with Rolisa Cain, but, or Colissa Rain, but it rhymes with that. No, but the show is called What Makes You Famous, and the radio station that I have, I'm wearing the T-shirt, and and it's in the logo. It's called RadioWhat.com. So you could be read 2 ways. What, the station, makes you famous, makes you a little bit more famous than you were, gets you a little bit more ears. Or what makes you famous? There was one podcast early on, probably in the first year. I said, hey, what makes you famous? She talked for 45 minutes. I didn't say a word. She talked for 45 minutes. She had something going on in her life. She was able to speak. She was another person that deals with the public a lot. I think she was selling some kind of candles or jewelry or something like that. I can't remember right off, but my goodness, I didn't have to say a word. And that was wonderful. It was so good. She was prepared. Now, there are some that I will ask a question and they'll go, yes. And they won't say anything else. You care to elaborate?
Really?
Say something else, but then, there's stuff that sometimes I'll listen to them. You know, they'll be telling their story and they'll say something out of left field. You know, maybe I'm talking to somebody that's in public relations, and all of a sudden, well, when I got out of jail, what? You know, or you know, and you're like, okay, tell me more. Or you know, when I killed that guy, what? No, what? You know, but hey, now you're going to be listening to all the What Makes You Famous podcast to figure out which one I'm talking about, aren't you? Aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking to my list. I'm talking to my listener right now. No, but you know, everybody has a story. You were right. You said it. You hit the nail on the head. Everybody's got insight from the day they're born. They're gaining knowledge. They're gaining ideas. You've got so many ideas in your head. My goodness. I knew that you were fashionable, but I had no idea that you wanted to be in the fashion industry. You want to make your own clothes. You want to help people in the community, help people look good. When they look good, they feel good. I know that sounds like a Men's Warehouse commercial, but you know, when you look good, you feel good. When you get your hair cut, my mom always cut my hair. Now, thankfully, my mom was the one, she went to beauty school. Okay. So she had some kind of knowledge to cut my hair, not just putting a bowl on my head, but you were cutting hair, you know, making people feel good. And, you know, people take pictures. It's, you know, vanity. You say it's vanity, but it's also, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel more like a person. Even a simple taking a shower makes you feel like a person. After a long day. You feel grubby. You know, you feel good. You get out of the shower. Oh, I'm clean. Brush your teeth. Oh, look good. Get those fingernails cleaned up. Yeah, I feel good. I feel like a person, you know, but you're going to be helping people out with that. And you're going to be helping people look good. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Are there any other avenues you want to explore? Anything else you want to tell the people as we wind this thing down?
The only thing I can think of is just be on the lookout.
Now, hey, where can we find you? You say that you don't have a real media presence. This is one of the first podcasts that I've ever gone into where I'm like almost blind, almost cold. I talk to musicians. I can get to go to their YouTube. I talk to authors. Oh, I can read their book. I talk to movie makers. Oh, I can watch their film, their short films or whatever, you know, but for you, it's like, where do I find you online, or are you online?
I am online. I'm on TikTok. You should be able to find me on TikTok, Instagram, and I do have a Facebook page. I just have it down right now, but I'm going to pull it back up. So you can find me on Facebook at Rolisa Cain. You can find me on TikTok at Free at Last, and then you can find me on Instagram at I am Leo. No, I am ×3 Leo on Instagram. I'm sorry about that.
Well, what you need to do is you're going to have to send me all those links. Send them to my.
I'll send you some of my Yes,
send me all those links. I'll put them in the show notes. That way, you'll have some brand new stalkers following you around.
But that's fine.
Now, if they do want to slide into your DMs, business only. You know, if they do want to collaborate with you, and they go, wow, you're in the fashion industry, I want to break into that. Maybe they want to help you to achieve your goals. And hey, if they're lucky enough, they're local to Central Arkansas. That helps a lot. You know, is that something you'd be open to?
I'm open to everything. I always look at my DMs because I am trying to be a content creator as well. So, because I love fashion. So I'm always posting videos on my TikTok, trying to grow and trying to learn different things. So if they slide in my DM, I'm going to answer that DM. I'm always looking to grow. So I'm open to any opportunity that may come my way.
Well, that's another thing with with you kids, you young kids that have grown up with the internet. They're being a brand. You know, you have to come up with one idea. I'm KeysDAN from the Florida Keys. Here I am in Central Arkansas. I can't lose KeysDAN because that's where people know me as. You know, so I have over 1 million pages on my website that say KeysDAN all over them. So there's no way I'm changing to Arkansas Dan. What is your brand? What are you going to be branding as, Rolisa Cain?
I'm going to be branding as a fashionista, I guess. I'm a fashion. I love fashion. So, and since I want to bring fashion to the world, just a fashionista, the person that loves, you know, to get dressed, smile. I love to do my hair. So I just want to be known as the person who is nice, always willing to help.
What I was talking about is the brand name. You know, my brand name is KeysDAN. My real name is not KeysDAN. And my brand name is KeysDAN. But if you were branding yourself, and I know people have to do that, I guess they've done it since the beginning of time. But now with social media, you have to find that one name, that one brand, and put it all over your social media. What is your one name, your one brand?
I am me. I actually had wanted to also start a line to always be you. So, and I have a hard time sometimes just, I guess, I don't know exactly what it is sometimes, but I am me. So my brand is I am me, to always be yourself.
Okay. You know, you have a very unique name with Rolisa and even Rolisa Cain. If you were like at Rolisa Cain, that might be an easy way for people to put their searches into Google, stuff like that. You know, if you could put your TikTok as Rolisa Cain or at Rolisa Cain, or your Instagram, stuff like that, you know, just to make sure that people can find you. But when I put Rolisa Cain into my Google, you know, I found like a LinkedIn, and I think that was you. It said something about Gainwell, maybe from Dallas. Was that you?
Yeah, that's one of my jobs. Yes. Gainwell Technology. That's where I currently work too.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like those people out there. They're good people. They're good people.
Yes, they are.
But, you know, so, all right. So at least I got that. But send me all the links to all your various things. That way I can put them in the show notes. People can find you. And that's fantastic. Now, I want you to give shout outs to people that have helped you along the way. You know, maybe somebody that's helped you out with the podcast, or who else is going to be on the podcast. And then we'll give some last words and get out of here.
Yes, I just want to give a shout out to my mom, my dad, because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I want to give a shout out to my family, my sisters and brothers. They help me, you know, and I appreciate everything they do for me. My friend, my day one, she's always been there for me and always, you know, helped me succeed in life. She's always given me different ideas, and, you know, just the person that say, believe in yourself. You know, you good at this, you good at that. So she's also going to be on the podcast, as well as my twin. And then two of my other, you know, coworkers, which I call my brother currently, they're going to be on the podcast as well.
Well, I believe in you for sure. I look forward to hearing all your stories and hearing more insight about, you know, who you are and what makes you who you are. I know we've only barely scratched the surface here. We can talk for hours and hours. I think you broke out of your shell. We could talk for a long time. You might have been a little bit worried, a little bit apprehensive at first, but I think we got this.
Yeah.
Now, I always finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Rolisa Cain, give the last words for the people.
I just want to say, trust God. If use God in everything you do in life, and believe in yourself. No matter if you think you can't, you know, do it, just know that you can do it. Get up every day and, you know, be ready to conquer the world, and know that you're able to conquer anything you put your mind to.
Well, there you have it, party people. Rolisa Cain. I was so excited in the beginning to learn more, and I learned a little bit more. She's got a big family. She's got a big heart. So wonderful. Such a big smile. She wants to help the community. Fashionable, athletic, and fashionable, and smart. Beauty and brains. What? That's a double threat. That's too much talent for one person. Rolisa Cain. That is super. I'm so excited for you to start your clothing line. I'm so excited to hear your podcast, and I'm so excited to hear more from you and about you. So thank you so much for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast and telling a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your story, getting to know us here on the What Makes You Famous podcast. I appreciate it. I like learning from people, and I've learned a lot from you. Thank you. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to be like Rolisa Cain and give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.